the percents, basically introducing percents. Because you guys were given this last year, our introduction is basically more of a review of all the different ways that we work with percents. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly, although not as quickly as I had intended. We were supposed to do 2 lessons today, but we're only doing 1. I will say, guys, mark your text, right, Daniela? Can make a difference? Leona parents are looking at a model in Miss Henry's class. Leona says the model represents 12% because 12 squares were shaded. Parents says it isn't true. How could parents explain her reasoning to Leona? What are you going?
So in this instance, 15 is basically actually 100%. So if you were to make 15 to 100, then you need to multiply by something to get value.
You got the idea, you're just not formulating it. Leon?
It is 12 out of 15, not 12 out of 100.
Perfect, which is basically what you were saying, you just didn't say the 100. But that 100 is really, really important when we talk about percent. Because if you look at the word, what does percent mean? Jace?
Percent means out of 100.
Out of 100. Literally it means out of 100. Per, out of, cent, 100. Okay? So, the basic on this, it was 12 out of 15, not 12 out of 100. Percent means out of 100. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yes.
Everybody has something along those lines, basically? Anybody have something different? Okay, that's really what we were hoping to see. The whole concept being, we need to know percent means out of 100, which tells you, as we get into our definitions for today, percent is a part of the whole ratio, important concept. Talking about a piece out of the whole, where the whole is always what? Joshua? 100.
That would have been a lot easier.
Okay, percents can be written as a blank out of 100. So how do we write it if I'm writing it out of 100? What's that format? Violet? Okay, so what is that format? Fraction. It will be written as a fraction out of 100. Or a decimal. I can also write it as a decimal. So on this one, 78%. That's the same as saying 78 over 100, because percent, this sign, it actually shows it. This is a 1, a 0, a 0. The 100 is actually right there in the sign. Yeah. Really? I just showed you. You can see it? Okay. Now, here's an interesting thing that I'm trying to get you guys to speak proper mathematics. How do I say this number?
7,800.
Leon? No. Jace? 7,800. Guys, try to get away from 0.78. That really doesn't make sense mathematically. It's 7,800. The reason I want to stress that, especially as we're doing our percent unit, if I say this fraction, how would I say that? 78 hundredths. Can I now write that as a decimal?
No.
Yes, 78 hundredths. 78 over 100. They translate really easily if you say them properly. Another example, if I start with a fraction of 3/5. Remember, when I'm doing a fraction, the top guy is the winner. He goes in the house. The loser's left on the outside. I actually divide that out. Will 5 go into 3? No. Add a decimal and a 0, bring my decimal up. 5 goes into 36 times. So I can actually solve to find the decimal equivalent, 6/10. But what is percent out of? 100. So can I write the 6/10 as a percent? No, it's got to be hundredths, meaning I add that 0, so 60 hundredths. Anytime I go decimal to percent, I'm just moving my decimal twice. That becomes a percent. Make sense? Questions? Because this is all we do. You guys all, I know all of you that had Mr. Ken and I did this last year. Okay? We did do this. So here's your chance to see if you can do it. Okay? We've given you the shades. Hopefully you can see the shading okay on your paper. Write the fraction, the decimal, and the percent. Try to do this by yourself first. Once you have your answers, compare with other people. Quick question, when do we simplify?
Always.
Always. On our first one, the first thing you need to do is count. They did it out of 100. Hopefully you guys all realize that right away.
Yeah.
How many blocks were colored in?
25.
25, so my fraction was 25. Can I simplify that?
Yes, 24.
Yes, by
1/4.
25. So that is 1/4. Once I have my percent, or my fraction, if I just say it properly, it gives me my decimal. So how would I say 25 hundredths? Now I write it, 25 hundredths. It's that easy. If I have it over 100, I can replace that number, the 100, with the percent sign. So whatever's over it becomes the percent. Easy, right?
Yes.
Any questions? Okay, so it's so easy, you guys get 30 seconds on this one. Nice, everybody did them already, so we're going to go ahead and keep going. How many did I color on the first one? So it counted 65. So what can I divide those by? 5 gives me 13/20. Writing it as a decimal. I started as 65 hundredths, so I make it 65 hundredths. Now I change it to a percent, moving my decimal twice, and then changing the decimal to a percent sign. Yes, Joshua? Guys, one at a time, please. Say what? No, I honestly don't understand what you're saying.
So you put a 0 in the front to show that it's out of 100, which is weird. You said you should always make sure to put a 0 in front of the percent.
A 0 in front of the percent.
0.
Oh, you mean in front of the decimal? Oh, that's fine.
Okay. I was like, what are we getting?
If you don't have a 0 there, it's just understood that it's there, that there are no holes. If that's where you've been trained, stay with it. But I have no problem with just using a decimal. Okay. So it sounds like you guys know this one too is right as well, right?
Yeah.
What did we start at?
1,500.
15 over 100. So I can divide by 5 gives me 3/20. My decimal, 15 hundredths. So I write it, 15 hundredths. My percent, I can realize, okay, this is over 100, so that's my percent. Or I just move my decimal twice in the decimal. Questions on those?
No?
Pretty easy, right? Now, more notes. Guys, please stop the chatter. The background noise is going to be really bad on this. Percent problems can be solved using proportions or equations. And I actually flip back and forth a lot between these, to be honest. A lot of this is going to be dependent on your number sense. Those of you with really strong number sense, understanding how these different forms relate, will find this to be easier than somebody that are struggling a little more and need to go step by step. But even if you're going step by step, you'll get there. Now, this is an interesting one because they actually gave you the answer in the definition. To set up a blank using the formula below and then solve it like a proportion. What do you think you're going to set up?
Percent.
No. What is this?
An equation.
Not an equation. Well, technically it is an equation. It's got an equal sign. But this is a special type of equation. It has two fractions on a fraction on either side. What do we call that? Oh, if only we hadn't spent the first month of school talking about this concept. Proportion.
Wow.
So if we set up a proportion using the formula below and then solve it like a proportion. How do we solve the proportion? We taught you something that I said Miss McCann hates. What did I teach you? Cross multiplying. So if you set this up as a proportion, I can then use cross multiplying to be able to do an equation. I plug the given values into the what? Equation.
Wow.
And then solve for the missing value. Now, one big note. If I am doing the percent equation, how do I need to represent my percent? As a decimal. Is it difficult to change a percent to a decimal? No. Literally, all I'm doing is moving my decimal place twice to the left. If my percent has a decimal in it, does that change anything? No, I just move it to the left. If I have empty spots, once I do that, what goes in empty spots? Hunter, stop. What goes in empty spots, guys? Say I had 1.8%. How do I turn that into a decimal? No, it's a percent.
Oh.
Why is it to the left?
Twice to the left. 1, 2. What do empty buckets get?
Zero.
Zeros. So as a decimal, what is this number?
18,000.
Oh.
18,000. Yes. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Any questions on your definitions? Okay, because you need these definitions as we do the rest of the lesson in order to solve these. So this is still part of your definition piece because we're going to show you how we're switching between the formats. So if I give you a double number line, what would the 1 be? Jace?
It's not a tape diagram.
It is a tape diagram. But technically it's a double number line because I've got both. Tape diagrams are really just a double number line. Jace? Leon?
One would be next to the middle.
Which part of the equation is the 1? The part? So what is the 5? The whole. What is the x?
Percent.
The percent. What is the 100%?
100.
100, or the whole. Okay? So all we're doing is saying it's percent is by definition, percent is part of 100. And we're comparing it to a part of a whole. I did it again. That should have been whole, not what. Sorry, guys. This is why we do our work in pencil, right? Now, here's the rotate 90%. I had to look at this for a minute to figure out what they were saying. All they are saying is if I take this entire diagram and I turn this whole thing 90 degrees, I end up with my equation. Because if you look, the 1 flips over here, the 5 flips over here, the x flips over, and the 100 flips over. So our tape diagram actually is your entire percent equation of proportion written out.
It looks like you just understood the line.
That's why I did them one at a time. So if you were watching, you would actually follow along.
I was.
Okay, once I've got my percent proportion, you should now be able to write your percent equation. What is the only thing that changes? This. Instead of writing it as a percent, when I change it to the percent equation, I'm changing this into the percent as a decimal. Okay? So, what is my part? 1. What's my percent? I don't know. And my whole is 5. Are you okay, Layla? Yes, Lillian.
Why do we change the percent to a decimal?
Because when I'm doing the percent equation, when I'm calculating, I can't use a percent to calculate. I can use the decimal equivalent to calculate. I'll just give you guys a forewarning. Your next CPA is actually coming up really quick. I just did all the math for it the other day because it's one of the things Mr. Vandermeer and I are working on as part of our FCT on Tuesdays. And when I solved all the problems, they're all percent problems, I changed every one into a decimal to be able to solve them because the math worked easier. So it's part, again, it's part of your number sense.
Oh, so you made it harder.
No, it's actually easier if you change them to decimal. But you can solve them as percentage, as proportions if that's what you really want. But then they've given you dollars and cents in the problem, so the numbers don't work out well unless you multiply by the decimal. Any questions on this part of the notes, guys? Okay, stop that noise. Here's your chance to use the diagram, see if you can set up the proportion and solve it. I'll give you guys about 2 minutes. See how we did on this one. Again, the way the tape diagram is set up, it's actually set the proportion up for you if you just turn it. I know that my percent is 20, so it's 20 over 100. I know I don't know the part, but I do know the whole. Okay? How did you guys go about solving this one? Days?
So, because I know that
JJ?
Because cross multiplying.
Okay.
And I divided that by 100.
Which in this case, I like that a lot. Okay? Again, cross multiply, you'll notice my arrows, I always start at the bottom. Because as we're doing comparisons of ratios, that's actually going to show me which side is bigger. So on this one, you did 100x equals 40 times 20. Meaning, here's my variable. The opposite of multiplying by 100 is dividing by 100, so I do that to both sides. Those cancel out. They become 1, so I know x is on this side. On this side, here's why I like to do it this way. I have a power of 10 on top and bottom, right? I just cross out the zeros. I divided them both by 10. I still have a power of 10 on top and bottom, don't I? And cross those out. Those become zeros. Become 1s. So I end up with 4 times 2, which equals
80.
Days.
another way to get it is, so because you start at 100% and you start 40, and to get from 100, so to get me off 100% to 20%, you have to divide by 5.
Good. So you can simplify this. I can step back. That gives me 4 and 20. Now, can I go 4 to 20?
Now you're going to do it, you're going to divide by 5.
Yep. So then I multiply by 2 and I get 8. That one also works. Make sense? Questions? Did you guys already do the next one or do you need time? Raise your hand if you need time. Only one person? Raise your hand if you need time to do this. Okay, you guys have 1 minute. Go. Okay, and this one, again, if I just use it, I can actually set my proportion up easy. It's 75%, and 24 goes on top. X is on the bottom. Really, really, really important that you guys put the missing piece in the right spot. If you don't, you get the wrong answer. Here's another decent one for cross multiplying. And now I know it's 75x equals 100 times 24. I can now divide both sides by 75. Those go away. Divide this by 75. Here's why I love to do this. I can still do my reductions. What can I divide 75 and 100 by? 25. So I can divide that by 25, I get 3. Divide that by 25, I get 4. Can I reduce 3 and 24 by something?
No.
3?
Yes.
3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So what do I have left? 4 times 8, which equals 1 is on the bottom, so that equals 32. So what does my x equal?
I did it, but wait a minute.
How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
It's just like I didn't see your set thing until because
Is there another way I could have done this?
it was still 24 by times.
Yes, I could have simplified here, divided both these by 25. It would have given me 3/4. How do I go from 3 to 24? Times 8. So I do 4 times 8 and I got 32. Could I have just done it as a proportion, Jace?
Yes.
Why? Because I could simplify to a number that got me to the 24. Guys, if I can't simplify my percent to get to some, or whatever side of the percent I need to simplify to get to the other side easily, quite frankly, I would just go to cross multiplying. If you can do an easy reduction, I don't mind doing it as a proportion still, but I really strongly prefer the cross multiplying way because to me it's easier to do my reductions when I have all my numbers laid out like this. If you look for those reductions, it's going to make the math a lot easier for you. Do you guys need more time on this one?
Yeah.
Numbers are a little more complex. I'll give you 3 minutes on this one. Now, we're going to do the percent equation and percent proportion on this one to solve it. Here's where that whole piece that I've taught you guys comes back. Remember, when we're doing our percent equation, the way you want to fill this in, you want to start with the percent, because it's the easiest thing to find. What in this case is my percent? 12. So whatever goes over 100. 12. Then I want to find the word of. Of will always be my second thing, because of is very consistent. This says of, what's right after of? 315. So what goes on the bottom? 315. Okay? Now, my is, the last piece, I've already got 2 numbers, so guess what goes in the last spot? The x, my variable. It's what I don't know. That's what I am solving for. Is it going to be easy to get a number to go straight from 100 to 315? No, it's not. So if I say, no, it's not going to be easy to get a number, that's where I automatically go to cross multiplying. So now I'm going to cross multiply this, set up the equation. It's going to be 100x equals 12 times 315. Here's my variable. What am I going to do? Divide both sides by 100. Those go away. So when I'm looking at the numbers, this is where I'm going to count on your guys' development of number sets, especially for advanced math. You have to get your development really quickly. It's going to make the math easier. You can do it in a lot of different ways at this point, but for me, when I look at this, I say neither of these are going to go into 100 really easily. So rather than trying to do reductions at this point, I'm saying I'm dividing by 100. So that means I can just turn it into a decimal. and I can pick either number, but I'm going to pick the one with 2 digits because I know with the 100 I'm getting 2 decimal places. So I'm going to make the 12 into 12 hundredths. So I'm going to take 315 times 12 hundredths, means I've got 2 decimal places. Now I just do the math. 10, 3, 6, 0, 5, 1, 3, add them up, 0, 8, 7, 3, 2 decimal places. So what does X equal? 37 and 8 tenths. Was that the only way to do it? No. There's a lot of other ways. Technically, if I'm going to 100 to 3 and 15 hundredths, what am I doing? Multiplying by 3.15. So we multiply this by 3.15. Guys, guess what? All I did is change the 2 decimals from the 12 to 315. But that math is exactly the same. Could I have simplified this? Yes, I could have said divided by 4 to give me 3 and 25. Then it's just a different number that I'm multiplying by. It actually makes the math even harder, in my personal opinion. But you still get to the same answer as long as you do your math correctly. So yes, there are multiple ways to solve these. You need to figure out which one you like the best, because all of them are valid, as long as you don't make a math error. Questions? Okay, let's look at our next one.
Okay.
And we're down to 12 minutes, so I'm going to work through this one with you guys. Again, and here, when you guys are doing the test, first thing I recommend you guys do is write this. This is going to be huge for your entire test, because this is the order you're going in. What's my percent on this problem? 60. So what goes over 100? 60. Then here's my of. What's right after of? What? So do I know my of? No. Guys, do not be confused that that 45 is there as well. You're looking right after of. Okay? Meaning there's one number left. What is it? That's my is. Now here's one. Personally, I would probably go ahead and simplify this one. Leon, question?
Of what number is 45. I've just been doing it where it's 65% of 45. 60% of 45.
No, that's wrong. It says of what number? I don't know what number it is. You can't do 60% of 45 because that's not the right answer.
But I've still been giving the right answers.
If the of is given to you, then you would get the right answer. But now I don't know my of. So guess what just happened on this one, Leon? What was your answer?
My answer is 27.
27? You're wrong. And here's the irony. 66% of the time, your way is going to work. But that other third is going to be just like this one, you're going to be wrong. So what is the grade of 66%? D. So if you're okay with getting a D, you can just do that every time. But if you really want to get the 100%, you have to set it up properly. Okay? So on this one, the reason I say, because I know I can simplify this, so I can divide them both by 20. That gives me 3/5. Can I go 3 to 15 easily? Yes, times 15. So I do 5 times 15 and I get 75. So what does X equal? 75. I could have also cross multiplied this, just to show you how this sets up. So then I have 60 times X equals 100 times 45. Here's my variable, so I'm going to divide both sides by 60. Those go away. And here's why I like these. Again, simplifying. I can divide both those by 10. Take off that last 0. I can divide 10 and 6, both by 2. That gives me a 3 and a 5. I can divide 3 and 45 by 3. Gives me a 1 and a 15. So what am I doing? 5 times 15, which equals 75. Did I get the same answer? Yes. Can I do it either way? Yes, as long as you don't make math errors. For those of you that are struggling with how I am simplifying, this is just number sense. If you're not there yet, that's okay. You could do 100 times 45 and then divide that by 60. You should get the same answer unless you make a math error. You're just dealing with a lot bigger numbers. Would you rather do 4,500 divided by 60? Or would you rather do 5 times 15? I would rather do 5 times 15. That's where the reductions come in. Make sure you're doing one on top and one on bottom. But especially when I got numbers that both end in zeros, that's a super easy reduction. Any questions on what we've been doing so far? Okay, here's one more. I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds, see if you can reset the equation up, and then we're going to solve it together. Okay, let's see you got it set up right. Remember, I start with percent, then I do my is and the of, right?
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3. What is my percent?
X over 100.
Good, thank you, Hunter. X over 100. What is my of? 40. What's left?
25.
Can I simplify this to something that's going to go easily to this side? Not really. But I know that from my number sense. If you don't know it, you can still do it. You can simplify it, but it's not going to go easily. So in this case, I'm going to do 40x equals 25 times 100. Here's my variable, so I'm going to divide both sides by 40. These are going to go away. I've got the 0 at the end, so I can divide both those by 10. I can do the 4 and the 10. I can divide those by 2. Gives me a 2 and a 5. And now I got a 2 on the bottom and odds on the top, so I can't simplify any further. So now is where I would just go ahead and do the math. So 5 times 25 gives me 125. 2 on the bottom. 125 divided by 2 is going to give me 62 and 5/10. So what percent is it? 62 and 5/10%. Questions? Is everybody understanding the process and how we're doing it? Is everybody understanding the simplifying? So I'm going through it pretty quick, I know that. But everybody's following? Okay. So, here's more of a thought one. Let's see how you guys do on this. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. We got 7 minutes. Okay, let's see how we did. Kai knows that 50% of a number is 20. How could he use that information to determine what 150% of the number is? So there's our big question. How could I use that? What do you think, Maddox?
Okay, so if you know that 50% of a number is 20, and it says determine what 50% of a number is, that's just times 3, then 50%.
Right? And how did you go from the 5 to 150?
Multiplying by 2.
So what do I do to the 20?
Multiply by 3.
And what would that number be then?
60.
60. Here's the key. Did it actually ask for the of? No. This is simply a reasoning one, guys. So to get from 50% to 150%, I multiply by 3. I multiply 20 times 3 and get 60. You were not required to find what that number was. Okay, our last one. Oh, hold on, guys. 5 proportions are given below. Put a check mark next to the proportion or proportions you can use to solve the problem. What is 36% of 100? The first thing I would do is set that up. So if it's 36%, of 150. That's my base setup, right? Oh, look, that's this one, so that works. Then I would add in my cross multiplying, so I can see what numbers need to go together. Okay? If I cross multiply this, now I'm multiplying 36 and x. Is that the same? No. If I'm all cross multiply this, now I'm multiplying 10 times 36. Is that 10 times 36? Nope, so that one won't work. Now I'm cross multiplying. I'm doing 150 times 36. Does that work?
Yes.
Yes. Same setup. Now I'm doing 100 times 36. Does that work? Nope. So you should have had two of them checked. Do you guys understand how we did that logic? Okay, that was it for today's lesson. Good luck on your homework.